Live today. Thanks for tuning in. Obviously, I'm back in action this time round, but you may see a little bit more of aggro as time goes on. What have I got for you this week? Well, we're going to talk about the adventure. Yes, a new adventure is coming at you. Probably a little bit better than that Ratatoska one you're all not so happy about. After that, we're going to do some item balance and god balance, as well as some skins. But the first thing to mention is a couple of updates for you all. We're going to start things off with console is going to get a new home screen, a nice UI update for you all at home. There's a nice little look at it. As you can see, we've redistributed how things look on the console thing. But if you're not caring too much about console, don't worry. We've also got something for you guys and for console too, in the updated environment art that we're going to see during picks and bans of the game. So in your match lobby and god selection, this is how it's going to look. If you play for the order side, you're going to see that sort of background and imagery. And then obviously, if you're not playing on the order side, you play on the chaos side. And that's exactly what that's going to look like on your screen there. So nice little updates for you all at home. And after that, there's a little look at the God screen for you all as well. So they're going to get some nice updates too to go in tow. Lovely, lovely. I love art. It's the greatest thing in the world. It makes things work. Then, what's up to next? Skins. Let's go through some skins. We've got quite a few this week. You saw a couple on the intro. Dashing Deceiver Loki. Yes, he's a magician. Not only will he make himself disappear, he'll make you disappear and respawn at the fountain. After Dashing Deceiver Loki, we've also got one that you've all been waiting for. Jackal Tech Anubis is also going to be available. This, by the way, I saw a little look at this earlier on. The animations on these abilities are amazing. Really, really good animations. Definitely worth the investment you've all been putting in for it. Not just Anubis, though. Chak, Abyssal Executioner Chak, will be available. From the Void. Nothing more to add, just from the Void. Lots of teeth on his chest. Definitely a Chuck skin. And after that, we've also got Hercules. He's a little bit mad. Post-apocalyptic. And, of course, he's got a skull on his belt. Following Hercules, there's also... I'm going too fast for the animation for you all. Following that, we've also got Aphrodite. Violet Sorceress Aphrodite. Slightly demonic. And she's got some sticky out ears. I'm not an artist, guys. I'm sorry. I just say what I see. I see pointy ears. There's pointy ears, you know? After that, this one looks dope as hell. In a demon hell. Yes. That is exactly what it looks like in game 2. Not going to lie. There is the... Oh my god, there's 2 hells on the screen. Look at us. It's like we've actually put effort into doing these reveals for you all now. Look at it. Beautiful and deadly. Deadly but sexy. Not just that, though, we've also got some mastery skins. Hercules is going to get a lovely mastery update this patch. And as well as Hercules, we'll also have, well, I didn't know we were going to have animations for this too. Not only Hercules, but we're also going to have Chuck, who will also get some mastery skins update. We'll go through all those a little bit later on and show you the animations and the voice packs in-game on top of that. But for now, it's time to introduce my first 2 guests on this week's showcase. It's going to be Matt Bacchus and, of course, AJ joining us on the show. How you boys doing?
Good. How are you, Indu?
I'm good.
Happy to be here. Excited to show off this adventure.
So what's the adventure about? What's it called, first of all?
It's Hell's Inner Demon Adventure.
Oh, so it goes with the skin.
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm. That makes
it's
sense.
An arena, a PvP adventure.
It's an arena.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So talk to me a little bit then, Matt, about what this adventure is going to be about, I guess. Like, what's the aim of it? In a demon, obviously, but...
Yeah, so we took the arena and put it into Hell's mind because the theme of adventure is all about Hell struggling with her inner self, the constant fight between good and evil.
Sure.
And so we've taken the beautiful landscape and we've destroyed it to show that, hey, sometimes evil takes over and causes chaos in your world. So we've warped everything inside. We put dangerous stuff in the level, and we also put new monsters and stuff as well.
All right, well, let's have a little look at this video. My bad, we should have gone to the video first of all, but we'll have a little look at the video first of all to give you a little glimpse, and we'll take out some in-screen shots as well. hold up. I think I just did I see a Titan just running across that?
You did.
That's cool. Like what? All right, we'll get onto the Titan in a minute. But first of all, like, man, that's a lot of effort on that. That's an arena game mode, right? Because it doesn't look like the
Yes.
arena. There's no big coliseum and no fans cheering.
Exactly. I mean, we want to go all out on this art side. We want
Okay.
to make it really cool for you guys. So
Awesome. So, AJ, tell me a little bit then about the actual game mode. What's the plan? It's arena, but obviously it's going to have twists.
Of course. So there's a couple key twists. The first number one twist is death traps. So we had a lot of fun with those in previous iterations of the adventure. We're bringing those back, but they have quite a twist to them this time. There's water pools around the arena.
Okay.
You can walk into the water pools, but you have a very short amount of time. You'll see a little timer on you scale down. If you're there too long, a giant serpent is going to come out of the ground, out of the water, and just eat you, execute you.
Okay.
You cannot Aegis or beads it. You have to get out of the water in time.
How long have you got to get out of the water?
It's about a second, maybe a little longer.
Okay, so kind of like a fountain tick, I guess?
Yeah, it's very fast and it's just going to one-shot execute you, so they're very dangerous. So we've got this kind of water theme. That's why the whole arena is so open. There's no walls. You can really see really far. You're kind of stranded on this island, and there's these evil serpents anywhere. That's the first thing.
Okay.
And there's plenty more.
There's plenty more to add. Well, we'll get to the Titan bit in a way. With the artwork of this, obviously, Matt, it looks very interesting. Obviously, it's about hell, the chaotic hell. Is that what it's really about?
yeah, so the theme of the skin is supposed to be good versus evil. And so a lot of the monsters and a lot of the creatures that we put into this map reflect that, as well as the ruined pillars that you see in the map. The one side being the good hell and the one side being the bad hell. So we themed the bases around that as well.
So it's like demons versus
Yeah.
angelic side.
Yeah.
Basically. Okay, cool.
And the demons are winning.
Are they?
Well, I mean, looks like it.
It
how the
looks
map's
like it, right?
looking. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it used to be maybe a beautiful ruin is how I like to think about it, but now everything has gone to war for a while, and now we're like fighting in what's left.
Okay, so the serpent demons on this map that come out of the water. What else happens in this game mode?
Right. So death pits, number one.
Right.
Number two, new feature is a complete new objective to the arena. So every 2 minutes in the center of the map, you'll see these smaller serpents will spawn.
Okay.
These
Like
are
this, right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, right, just like this. They spawn in those where those pillars used to be.
Right.
So you can't walk through those spaces. Those won't kill you if you set foot in them, but the serpents will come out of them and they'll start attacking.
Oh.
There'll be 3 of them every round, and there's every round is 2 minutes long.
Right.
Whichever team gets the last hit on 2 of the 3, so the majority will be the one to spawn a Titan that will then push down their wave. And those Titans will behave like arena juggernauts,
Okay.
where they move unless there's enemy gods in the area.
And they'll attack
except they
those.
will attack
Yeah.
people
Oh,
because
that's
arena
cool.
juggernauts don't attack.
No, they just stand there.
They just stand there. We wanted to turn that up a bit. So you'll see the Conquest Titans essentially marching down the lane, attacking people along the way.
I'd say the coolest thing is when you see bow titans come out and they're just like beating on the turret.
Right, which is something we've talked about in Smite, and people who remember it way, way, way back in like closed alpha, the Titans could actually battle each other. This is happening again in this arena.
That's crazy. That sounds really, really good. Now, it's not just that. There's also going to be sudden death post game.
Oh yeah,
Is it back?
it is back.
The famous post game, but it's not a knockoff ledge. I guess it's water now. Then, Matt.
It's water, and in the past it was lava, and
Right.
lava when you
Oh,
fell in
yeah.
it would just like start burning you. But here it's just the Hydra mechanic. You're out there for too long, you get eaten by Hydra.
This is something Matt worked on way back in the Underworld arena, right?
Right.
Yeah, so Matt, the champion of the original bonus round, as we called it.
Yeah.
The bonus round is returning in this arena.
That's awesome.
So after the match, if you win or lose, you get a one last chance 5v5 death match in the center of the arena, surrounded by serpent death water. Whoever wins that bonus round will get some extra points towards the rewards.
Now, for you guys at home as well, the big thing to point out here is that we're going to be able to see demon points that are going to be included in this. Demon points can be very, very big for everybody. These demon points you get by playing the map over and over again.
Right.
And they collect very similar to the Ratatoska adventure that we had,
Right.
where you can unlock things with those.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And then at the end, the sudden death game bonus, there's actually bonus demon points you get for winning that as well, which
Right.
don't count towards the win of the game.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. That's the only thing you
Okay.
get for the bonus round is more points.
Okay, so you get them by just playing it. Now, there's also something here. I've got something called death marks.
There are. This
What's that?
This is a new customizable item in Smite.
Oh,
And the first death marks you'll only be able to unlock by playing the adventure.
okay.
And what these are is a new type of effects that when I have a death mark equipped and I kill you, I'll leave my mark where I killed you.
Cool. So I can
That's cool.
teabag people?
Essentially, yes. except with visual effects. You'll be teabagging them with visual effects. So we have 3 death marks coming out in the first patch. There's going to be 3 per patch. They'll all keep being added additively, like we did with the Ratatoskr skins.
Right.
So you can keep earning more and more. But the first 3 is the rest in peace gravestone on the ground.
Yeah.
So rip to your enemies when you kill them.
Okay.
The skull face with the swirly eyes.
Yeah.
And then the one that we're calling the kill face, which actually takes your god's face and puts it where it was. So when I'm playing my Anubis and running around getting pentakills, you'll just see Anubis scattered all over the ground to know that I killed everybody.
If anyone ever gets a Ganesh one of those, I need to see it. Like,
Oh, a Ganesh kill
5
face
Ganesh
there.
faces on the ground would be
That
crazy.
would be impressive.
How long do they last for, though? Because obviously there'd be a lot listed on a map normally. I
Yeah, we're
guess.
trying to be careful. We have some systems around it that we designed. There can only be 10 on the map at one point, and they only last a minute. So if new ones start coming up, like there's a lot of kills, they'll start replacing each other.
That's cool.
So they'll need to be limited. And, you really have to kill a lot of people before it gets busy.
Sure,
so.
but I mean, Arena, for example, it gets really busy. And Assault, too, is madness
Yeah,
about
it can.
to kill, so
You'll see them there. You will.
That's cool. Well, one thing I've got to mention as well, guys at home, easier to get than Fox chests, from what I understand. You're going to be able to get hold of these things a lot easier.
Right.
Than the last adventure that we had. With
Yeah, we
additions.
rebalanced this whole economy, really. You're going to earn a lot more points per game as you play. You'll earn, you'll earn a lot more points just no matter what. You'll earn even more points if you win. It says it is a PvP mode. We don't want anyone, just AFKing or just kind of queuing up just for the minimum points. You'll earn a lot more points if you win. You earn a lot more points if you buy the bundle. And you earn more points if you win the bonus round.
I'm talking about the bundle a little bit. This will be available in the patch as part of it. The Inner Demon bundle. It's going to be 900 gems. It's going to have the limited Inner Demon Hell, Inner Demon Pedestal, Inner Demon Level Up effects, Inner Demon Jump Stamp, and the 2018 Gold Vault Key.
Right.
And to talk about the Gold Vault as well, just a little bit for you guys at home, it'll have the Violet Sorceress Aphrodite added to it, alongside DJ Ganesha and Marvelous Maid Amaterasu, which are already in the vault. Most of you probably already have one of those 2 skins, and now you've got a chance to get the other one if you don't want the Aphrodite one, which you may do. This adventure looks great, though. Once again, it's going to be lasting similar to the Ratatoskr one in terms of length.
It'll be 3 patches long. 6 weeks.
Cool. So you're just going to be able to fight in the arena, a little bit of a difference this time round, and then have the bonus. The bonus round is staying for 3 months, 3 patches, sorry.
Yeah, it'll be a separate
great.
queue. It's not replacing Arena queue.
Oh,
it's
cool.
its own queue.
Oh,
Adventures
awesome.
queue.
I didn't even think about that. I was like, is he just going to replace Arena?
No. Yeah, so you can still play regular Arena, but we'll have this queue as a separate queue.
Who would play regular Arena?
People
when this
love
is
Arena,
available?
man. Some people don't want to, you pick all knock-up gods and, you're getting executed by giant serpents. Sometimes you might just want to play regular Arena, too.
No,
but
you want to kill people with serpents.
they're
Why
both
would you
really
not wanna
fun,
do
of
that?
course. There's a couple quick things I think we forgot about the adventure.
Go for it.
That I know we're in a hurry, but I want to throw out there. Jungle buffs. We edited all the jungle camps in the arena.
Oh, really?
There's a lot more things to kill in the middle now, so it's a little harder.
They're technically not in the jungle, though, are they? I mean,
No,
they're
but
just
there's
buffs.
there's monsters,
Yeah, yeah,
different
yeah.
monsters there with different appearances. They also have different effects.
Okay.
So there's the demon buffs. Essentially, demon purple buff, you get attack speed plus you get the haste effect, hasten fatalis, the whole time of the buff. There's shorter buff durations though. Red buff, you're getting damage plus movement speed. Blue buff, you're getting cooldown, mana heal, and damage mitigation. So each of those buffs has a completely new component added to them, make them really strong, but shorter duration. As you'll find that it's pretty tough to go manage your time with so much stuff to kill.
Awesome.
We also have some quality of life updates in the arena.
Okay.
Some things we're testing out for arena mode, things we might bring to real arena as we go forward if we like them. But you're going to see different respawn timers.
Okay.
So one of the things that could happen in regular arena is when you killed someone, they might have a really short or really long respawn timer, which is kind of random. We purposely have a wave-based respawn. So like when we kill one team, everyone on that team will respawn at the same time. We're preserving that. But we're changing the way that it constantly changes behind the scenes to make it more consistent.
Okay.
So like if you're way behind and you kill an opponent, it's the first death on their team, they're going to have a more standardized respawn time as opposed to there was the off chance that you could be way behind and they could still have a 1 second respawn.
That's fair.
Which just felt weird. So we're fixing that. We're also going to have ticket indicators. So when you kill things and when you kill gods and when you run things through the portal, you actually see a little, like with XP and gold coming off your character, you're going to see when you're earning tickets for your team. Because a lot of players sometimes had trouble connecting what was actually earning points in the game mode.
Gotcha.
You're also going to see some new HUD elements to show when the serpents are spawning, who's killing the serpents, who's got a titan on the map, who's getting 10 kills. So just a lot of like quality of life, just make things a little more clear.
All right, cool. Well, I'll be excited to see how that goes on. With that, though, boys, I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of the day. I hope you both enjoy being on the show, and we'll look forward to the arena. But now, I'm sick of seeing Pon every single week on the Patch Note show. So I've decided I don't want to be with Pon anymore. So then I've hired another idiot to do it for me. Aggro and Pon are there with the balance.
Wow. Thanks for the warm introduction.
I'm a bit glad that I'm not working with him now either.
That's what I'm saying, Pon. You and I, we're forming an alliance. It's you and me up against the Savage guy, Hindu Man. It's going to be tough. People know him as a Savage. He's kind of a Savage dude. But outside of that, I think that we can make it happen.
I think we can make it work.
Here we go. It's balance time here on the update show. Let's start with items here, Pon. The general philosophy here, just a little bit of help to Guardians and protections. Plenty of damage right now, but we don't want to go into that tank meta.
Yeah, there's a few items that Guardians have right now that just aren't quite effective enough. We're bringing them up. We're also taking a look at characters that have items that are just underperforming for like their damage purpose. A lot of like, for example, those 1 Hunter change will be important. And then a few other items that have some kind of like rough feels like when you're playing against them. We're toning them down to make sure that you actually feel good playing against them.
All right, let's get it started. Bulwark of Hope right off the bat here. 150 gold off that cost from 2550 down to 2400. Just a little bit more of a viable option. It's an item that we don't see a whole lot of in that tree.
Yeah, especially when you compare to Pestilence, which we'll talk about later. It was very ineffective at actually providing you the protections you wanted for it. For the cost, it was a bit too high. So now when you build it, you'll have the extra gold to spend somewhere else. Make sure this item's cost effective enough.
All right, next up, it's Celestial Legion Helm. That goes, the physical protection on that item goes from 30 up to 40. This one a little bit more to deal with the assassins that are everywhere right now.
Yeah, so if you're a squishy mage and you are tired of being one-shot by Loki with his new anime skin.
Hi, that's me.
It's pretty cool. You can actually build this. It's already really effective at doing that, but the base protection that I got, if it got shredded off of you ever, you didn't really feel the impact. We're bringing up the base of it so that it feels a bit more useful always, as well as just making sure that people remember, hey, this item exists if you want to survive burst assassins.
The reminder buffs are some of my favorites. This feels like a reminder buff, like, hey, buy this item sometimes. Next up is Hide of the Nemean Lion. Decrease the physical protections on this from 80 down to 70. Just tons of prots on this item. 70 prots is still a ton.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a counter item that you can build to deal with basic attackers that are attacking you, send some of the damage back to them. But it was also just way too good at 80 protections. It protected you against everything. It was the go-to item even without the passive being considered. So now when you're building it, you should be considering the passive.
All right, next up, Jade Emperor's Crown. That physical protection goes from 50 up to 60. A little bit of a buff there, and that kind of just, we've just talking about the Warriors and how they needed a little bit, but this is a little bit more for the Guardians.
Yeah, so Guardians specifically are characters that want to build these defensive items so they can be the frontline character. And we have these really cool diversity of aura items, but they always kind of bounce between, you're either going Sovereignty and Heartward or you're going these more utility ones. Right now we're in more Sovereignty, Heartward, Gauntlet of Thebes. We're just bringing some protections back to these more utility-based items, these more really hard counter items, so that you can build either or depending on the situation.
All right, awesome. All right, you already mentioned it once, but Pestilence going to be up next, getting a slight nerf here, going from 2150 up to 2250, so just an extra 100 gold for this item.
This has a similar item from Hide of the Nemean Lion. This has a similar situation. It was too cost effective. At 80 protection to 200 health, it was some of the most cost effective protections you could get, and you could just ignore the passive. You really should be building it if you need the anti-heal. You often built it even if there was no healing to actually care about. So bringing this up.
They're always buying health pots, Pon. You can always anti-heal their pots.
You could anti-heal their pots, health regeneration in some cases, sure.
There you go.
Yeah, it was just too effective.
All right. Next up is the Rage buff. So this is the Hunter item that you were talking about. And this is something that I think is absolutely perfect, because the problem with crit build historically has been it's really good when you get there to your 3 items of crit, but it's really bad once you start it off. This Rage change, you increase the critical strike chance from 20% to 30% right off the bat, but we're going to remove that bonus 10% upon completing the stack. So at the end of the day, Rage has the exact same amount of crit as it did before once you have it stacked, but it's starting higher.
Yes, very much so. The big thing here is crit is something that is all additive. You want to build a whole bunch of crit items together, and depending on whether you can get enough critical strike chance, kind of dictates whether that crit can be a viable build when compared to more the attack speed shredding builds from Chin Size. And when you built it, it was only 20%. It wasn't really enough to justify building it. And if you didn't get it stacked, you were going to be really far behind. So it was just too high risk for the reward that you were getting. Now, when you build this, there's still a reward for getting kills. You can go up to 40%. But 30 base is going to really help you get a solid foundation for that crit build, whether or not you get it stacked.
So just going to make you more consistent from the beginning, kind of differentiate it still as that first crit item that you want to buy a lot of the time to make it more consistent. And I think this might actually end up making a pretty big difference. All right, next up. Rod of Asclepius, going to increase the magical power on this item from 75 up to 90, and increase the in-combat healing bonus from 10% to 15%.
Yeah, so we saw a few changes in Season 5 towards these anti-heal items that made them very core for the build, but we didn't see some love for the bonus healing items that kind of counter that effect. We also have another anti-heal item that's going to be adjusted later on in this patch, so we wanted to make sure that that item that you're building to really get some bonus healing felt good. We're bringing up the amount of healing you get while you're in combat to encourage in-combat healing, as well as giving more magical power, which will help your heals, but also help your offense when you build this.
Awesome stuff. All right, next up, so we buffed crit, but if you can't really build crit if there's thorns everywhere, right? So we're going to nerf thorns a little bit. From 50% down to 40%, this is going to affect both the base version of thorns and that upgraded.
Yep, this is an item that is sometimes frustrating to play against. We added a few things to really help that, but at 50% it was still pretty potent. It limited build diversity in a way that we felt was kind of unfun. So we're toning it down. It's still a healthy item to have, this item that you can build that if there's a whole bunch of in-handers, you can walk at them and they can't really do anything to you. It's healthy to have this item, but when it's too overbearing, it can cause problems. So 50% was a bit too much, going down to 40%.
All right, awesome. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people happy about that, particularly this guy right here. Shogun's Kasari, a little bit of a shift here. Now we're increasing the magical protection from 40 up to 50, but bringing down the passive attack speed from 25% to 20%. So a little bit of a buff coupled with a nerf.
Yeah, so the effect is really cool with this boost of attack speed, but we also know that it's a fine edge item that if we make it too good while it has its attack speed, it becomes the dominant pick.
Right.
We're toning down the attack speed by giving more defenses to the Guardians so that when you can pick this up, you're going to feel more tanky for yourself, but provide a little bit less for your team.
All right, here's one that I think a lot of people are looking forward to. It's in the S tree, and so it should be coming next. Yep, it's Soul Gem getting a slight nerf here. That passive increased bonus damage it was at 40%. We're going to bring that down to 30%.
Yeah, so pretty good item. It helps mages get a little bit of additional burst. And so we're just toning down the actual damage component, not the heal component, because we feel like the heal is this really cool effect that you can bring to your team, but the damage was a bit too much, especially with a few characters who could really abuse that bonus damage. Turning down to 30% is going to really help over the course of a whole game for mages to be doing just a bit less damage with this item.
All right, good stuff there. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be happy with that. All right, next up, there's this shift that you were talking about for that anti-heal item. It's Toxic Blade, something we don't see a whole lot of, so we're going to do a pretty big shift to it. So increase the pen from 10 to 15. We're also reducing the stack count of anti-heal from 3 stacks down to 2 stacks and increase the stack duration from 5 seconds to 8 seconds. So what does this all mean for the players?
So the big thing here is we looked at these anti-heal items in the past, Divine Ruin, Brawler's Beat Stick especially, and we found that they needed to be kind of strong enough on their own that when you built them, you didn't feel like you were losing too much DPS.
Right.
And Divine Ruin and Brawlers are now in a really good spot with that. But Toxic Blade was this kind of in-hand item, attack speed item that not only did you have to stack 3 times, which made it kind of, you had to really ramp it up there, but it lasted for a short duration, so it would fall off quickly, and it didn't really give you the damage that you needed to feel like you're spending this gold and you're not getting like an Executioner or a Chin Size or some other attack speed item. And so now we're going to give it the bonus pen so that it feels really impactful when you buy it, but also make sure that the duration of that anti-heal is more consistent now, so you can actually apply it for the same length that all the other anti-heals are. But if we just gave it that, it was going to be a bit too overbearing because it could get up to 60% anti-heal, which is above all our other ones. We're bringing it to 40 to be more consistent with all our other anti-heal items.
All right, so you're not going to feel quite as bad when you build it, and it's going to be a little bit more effective for longer, but not quite as the high end.
It won't go
down
to the crazy high end that it could before.
Right, just a little bit more consistency there for Toxic Blade. All right, last item I've got here on the list, Warlock Staff getting a nerf. Decrease the health per stack from 4 down to 3. What this ultimately means for you guys at home is when you have it fully stacked, it was giving you 600 health. Now it's only going to give you 500 health.
Yeah, so Warlock's staff change is really targeted towards making sure mages still have good build diversity. For a lot of characters, Warlock staff, when you got that much power and up to 600 health, you were going to survive a lot longer. It would synergize with any melee defensive item that you need to get that game. And it was just too stifling for the builds. We're toning it down to 500, so it's still good. When you get it strong, when you get fully stacked up, it's still going to be strong. It just won't be as strong as it currently is.
So before we touch the power that was still getting bought all the time, now we're touching the health, and we're hoping that we'll see a little bit more build diversity there. That does it for items, and if you're just joining us and missed the first half of it, go ahead. We got a quick little graphic to show you what you can be excited about when you read the full update notes, which will be posted as soon as we're done with the show here. The big ones that I'm going to take away from this, for me personally, that I'm going to go home and complain about are the Warlock staff and the Soul Gem nerfs, but I think that a lot of the hunters and that kind of stuff will be excited with the rage buffs and the nerfs to the Nemean Lion and Thorns.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, next up, that's items. So now it's time to move on to the gods, the god balance section. Our general philosophy here, a little bit more focus on the quality of life, but there's also going to be some significant changes.
Yeah, so we're continuing what we did last patch with those characters that have these like invisible hitboxes being removed, where they still look like they're hittable. We're going to make sure that they actually are hittable now. We also just have a few high-level meta picks that we're looking to adjust, especially now that we've seen consistent weeks of SPL level play.
Right.
We have a few characters that we really want to target. And then, yeah, just some nice little fun things here for certain characters.
All right, well, nice little fun thing to start us off.
And one character getting a significant change.
Okay. Yeah.
Significant change.
Stay tuned for that. You won't have to wait very long. We're going to start off with a fun one here. Ares buff.
This one's fun.
No escape. That's his ultimate. It no longer requires line of sight to grab onto enemies. So you can do that from Hindu. Can you pipe down over there?
You want to come over here, Hindu?
All right.
You chose to leave.
Gosh. So now you can grab people through mid-harpies, through a speed buff wall, whatever you want.
Yeah, so this is mainly to help him. There are some situations where, one, the new map has a lot of these tight corridors, and it was very hard to grab onto people, especially if they just dipped out of line of sight, even if they didn't look like they were behind a wall.
Right.
They were behind a wall. But it also is just a nice quality of life buff for him so that he can actually be really impactful in these team fights. He can go in and reliably grab people. With Kerberos, which is another character we're going to touch on, he has this giant circle effect that appears, but if you're behind a wall, you also wouldn't get grabbed in a similar way. He now grabs. We felt it would also be consistent if Ares could also grab as well, because he's rising up in the air. He can throw those chains over the wall. It's fine.
Oh yeah, he can see you wherever you are.
There's
and
no
now you're
escape.
gonna get ripped through. Now you still will have the option to beads or use
Yes.
a CC immune ult and be a-okay, but I can't wait for the just like on the wall to red buff or mid harpies or whatever and yank them through.
Yeah,
we're gonna see
good.
some crazy stuff from that for sure. All right, next up, as you mentioned, Cerberus getting a couple changes here. We'll start off with the paralyzing spit. Lots of changes to this ability. That's his one. It now goes through walls. This ability had its offsets adjusted to better reflect the targeter, just a little bit more clear for you guys. The radius of each of the projectiles has been increased from 3 to 3.5, and the stun from this ability is now subject to diminishing returns. So we understand that Cerberus was seeing a good amount of pro play and having some success there, but the general feedback from the community was that he still felt a little bit difficult to use and clunky and just didn't quite feel right with that paralyzing spit. I think that we're going to keep an eye on him, you know, with the pro level play, but this was in the works to make him more usable for the player base.
Yeah, this was something we were trying to do for a long time. We were looking at the effects, making sure the targeters lined up. There were some issues where the projectiles wouldn't line up with the targeter correctly. The effects didn't quite look like they were the right size, and it led to players throwing out their paralyzing spit and missing and not quite understanding why.
Right.
So this fixes those issues, separate from his power level. So we'll look at his power level after we have these fixes in so that he can actually perform in the way that we kind of intend him to for it to be accurate. And these changes really help accomplish that.
All right, so everyone take a breath.
Yes.
It's going to be A-okay. But we're not done with Cerberus, so actually wait to take your breath until in a couple seconds. Yeah. Soul Expulsion, that's his 3, increase the range from 50 to 55. It just felt like it was just short of a normal leap range, and so now we're just making it a normal leap.
Yeah, so now it's a normal leap range, and it also helps him, for a character that really wants to get in there so he can breathe on targets and he can ult and catch as many people as he can. Having that range really does help him get into the middle of a fight where he wants to be.
And as you mentioned, the Stygian Torment now will pick up people that are behind walls, but different from Ares, where Ares will pull you through those walls, Cerberus won't be able to move you through them.
Yeah, he'll grab you, but when you try and fly towards him, you'll actually hit that collision and stop. But the big thing here was the giant circle effects look like it hit you, but for some reason it just didn't, and that was because of line of sight. Now, since it looks like it hits you, it does hit you.
I've wasted a lot of purification beats being around walls from Cerberus, thinking I was going to get pulled and not, so I think that's going to be a really nice quality of life adjustment for him. Okay, that's enough for Cerberus. Now you take your deep breath
there we go.
And reassess, and everything's going to be A-okay. Next up, Hell, getting some quality of life here done as well. All new ability icons, first of all. And they look really, really good. We're going to be able to show those off to you whenever we display her skin that's on the update show little logo there for you. But passive updated the meter to show cooldown in the opposite stance. So this is what we have for Artio and Uller. Now Hell has it as well.
Yeah, and we said this a few times that when we were going to make a skin for the character, we'd also reinvestigate looking at that cooldown passive meter because we like these stance dancers to be able to see their stances properly. Now Hell has that.
All right, awesome. Now on the light basic attack, remove this projectile offset. This ability now fires directly down the center and matches the targeter. Just again, matching the targeter is a general good thing that we're trying to be a little bit better about.
Yep, definitely. It was kind of weird that it was offset and it caused you to miss auto attacks, especially because the dark stance did go through the center.
Right.
And so having these two different auto attacks on the same character felt very strange, and they were just slightly off, so you couldn't quite figure out why. That's why.
All right, and restoration, same deal. Just making it so that it fires right down the middle.
That's light stance 1
yes.
orb.
All right, that's it for Hell. Now, on to Naja. So Naja on the Windfire wheels here, making a slight change. This is kind of in line with what you were talking about before, with making it more consistent, with moving players around and that kind of stuff. Remove the damaging hit as the enemy god begins to fall. It increased the initial and landing damage from 60 to 220 to 80 to 280. So this is just, there was an extra hit in there as you were about to bring them down. We removed that and are just increasing it to, it should be the same, right?
Yeah, so you get hit, and then up in the air, crit, crit, crit. And then right as that third crit happened, another hit would happen that you were falling, and then you'd fall and take a fall damage. And that fourth hit while you're in the air didn't really have any visual conveyance. It didn't really make sense that it was there. We removed it, which now makes it so it's very clear when you're getting hit. You get hit, you go up in the air, 3 crits, landing hurts you as well. But it also means that when your beads Naja, right, that initial hit will hit harder. So you're a bit more rewarded for, even if the enemy does beads you, you get a little bit more damage there, which should help Naja players.
That's awesome. That's going to be a really nice change. And it's just one of those situations where you've got someone up in the air with Naja, and you're like, am I going to kill them? That extra little hit that you didn't see kind of threw you off at times, so it'll be a little bit more clear for you Naja players and those playing against Naja. All right, on to Nemesis. She's receiving a nerf here. Divine Judgment, that's her ultimate. Decreasing the damage from 20 to 40% of current health down to 20 to 30% of current health. So at max rank, you're going to take over just under 10% less than you used to.
Yep, we watched her very closely after we made adjustments to her previously in like 5.4, I believe, as well as some changes to assassin items. We wanted to watch her very closely after those assassin changes because we expected they would affect her a lot. They didn't affect her as much as we expected, so now we're actually hitting the damage portion of Divine Judgment so that when she actually dives the backline, ults you suddenly, you're just going to be taking less damage, especially in the later stages of the game.
All right, next up, Nuwa, another one of those meta picks that we're seeing more and more of in the pro scene. Shining Metal, decrease the stun duration whenever she has the golems there as well, from 1 to 1.5 down to 1 to 1.4, so just 0.1 seconds off this stun.
Yeah, this is almost a consistency thing. She got an extra 0.2 seconds on the initial rank up, and then 0.1 for the rest. Now it's 0.1 consistently, but we also think she's in a position right now where that kind of like, it's a small change, but we don't think that change is going to hurt her, and it also makes the ability consistent per rank.
Makes sense. All right, next up, Soul. It's time for a Soul nerf, everybody.
It's time for the Soul talk.
It's got to happen. Sit down, take a seat. This is good for you, I promise. Now, Unstable Manifestation, that's her passive. This does a lot for Soul, and so we're forced to kind of touch it in a couple different areas. Decrease the bonus basic attack damage from 25% down to 20%. We're decreasing the attack speed from 1.2% down to 1%, and then decreasing the magical power bonus from 1% to 0.8%. What all those numbers basically mean is that whenever she's got that fully stacked passive, she's going to be auto-attacking a little bit less, and it's not going to hurt quite as much.
Yeah, and these are relatively reasonable adjustments. They're 5% at the absolute top end, and then a small percentage decrease as you actually get all the stacks up. And the big thing here is the Soul, especially in the duo lane, was a bit she was really prevalent, and this is just something that the passive enabled her to do. We don't think this is a problem necessarily with like the classes. We don't think this is a hunter problem, so we need to buff hunters to her level, because this is just kind of the nature of the role, right? It's the duo lane where you have less experience, less levels, and that causes you to have less base stats, and so anything that gives you base stats generally helps you out there.
Right.
And so rather than bringing up a whole bunch of hunters to her level, which we don't necessarily think is a problem because we think that can be meta solved, players can choose to power spike certain classes and certain characters, and right now that just happens to be mages and junglers, but that could shift in the future. We just looked at this character that was overperforming just separately from everything else, looked at the thing that she was doing really well, which is this basic attack damage that she was doing, and toned it down a hair so that she's more reasonable to fight against.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Again, towards the end of Season 4 in the pro meta, it was leave the hunters alone, let them hit level 20 as fast as possible. Now we're seeing the same, but in the mid lane, and so I think that you're right. It is sort of a meta idea. We're keeping an eye on hunters and mages in general, but we really feel like it is more of a meta thing than a class problem.
And hunters can still hit their late game stride and really be the impactful force that they can be. It just certain priorities for certain teams differ. So.
Exactly. All right, next up, this is going to be a big one, guys. Terra getting some significant changes here.
Yeah.
Number one, everyone put on your party hats. Her monolith now roots when shattered once more. She got her root back. Pop.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
It's done.
Now, in order to get this, here's the negotiation problem. We give you this, but the ult has got to get significant changes.
Yeah, so it's probably worth talking about the kind of difference for Terra here is she's been a problematic character to balance for us. This global presence that she had with her ultimate, no matter what we did with her kit, was always causing her to have insane win rates, really high stats, really high performance across the board. And we had to strip away so many different parts of her kit to make her into a more reasonable state where she's still actually performing well, but just no one plays her because she doesn't feel fun anymore.
Right.
So now that we've kind of looked at it holistically, we've looked at all the changes, we're changing Terra's ultimate, which is what we feel was the root of the problem, and giving the root back to Monolith.
Ooh, we got a nice little. If you guys needed a little extra oomph behind that
yeah,
one.
you need a little more pond in your life.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so the ultimate now no longer a true global.
Yes.
Now, whenever you hit it, it's like a sprint being activated around you, and it'll affect your teammates, and now it affects enemies as well.
Yeah, so when you pop it, any enemy or ally around you gets stones around them. If it's an ally, they take damage reduction. If it's a enemy, they take damage increase taken. And then when you pop the 4 stones, it'll either heal your ally based off the stones popping or damage your enemies based off the stones popping. It also has a small heal over time on initial cast so that your allies get some benefit. But now this is very much when you're in a fight with Terra, you have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about the Terra across the map popping this suddenly and having your team suddenly have a sprint and cooldown reduction, which is also gone. The movement speed and the cooldown reduction of this ability is also gone.
Oh, okay. So no more movement speed or CDR. Does it still give you the clear casting, the manaless abilities?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so it's now just as a heal. It's an instant heal for your team, but they'll get an extra heal if the stones are all knocked off.
Yep.
And the enemies now will get stones. They will all take increased damage in that area. It's kind of like a combined sprint plus horrific emblem at the same time in a way.
Yeah, because that damage reduction and damage amplification is just going to be good on its own. And then when you can actually get the additional trigger, you can really swing a fight heavily because you're healing your team and hurting the enemy, and you have to add those together when you're talking about a swing of health.
Okay, so this is one of those situations where we've seen a little bit of Terra in pro play now, but she's really prioritized for the level 1 blocking of minions, all this kind of crazy stuff. And the majority of feedback that we were getting from the community was that they still weren't playing her as much. They didn't enjoy the way that her kit had been changed. Mm-hmm. So this is a way to try and get people to be excited about Terra again.
Yeah.
But we will be keeping an eye on her and seeing how this affects competitive play.
Yeah, we had to get rid of the global presence she was giving that caused all her other abilities to have to kind of come down in power. And now, since that global presence is gone, we can actually bring some power back to her core kit, bring back some of the things that players liked about Terra, and actually focus on that. If she's overpowered or needs to be tuned, we can do that now, but she's in a much more reasonable state for us to do that, where before it was really difficult to do that at all, because we'd have to nerf the ultimate to such low levels to really get her into a balanced state that would be almost meaningless.
All right, makes sense. Okay, so there's going to be plenty more. You can read the details on the numbers and that kind of stuff. Look, I'm going to be honest, guys, that ultimate is the entire page, and we just don't have time for that. Next up, it's Thoth. He's getting a nerf. Evade and Punish, that's the dash. This ability now does not go on cooldown until after Thoth fires a stunning projectile. Mm-hmm. So basically, he could run around and point it at you with while it's ticking down, and then shoot it, and then have his dash up again. Now he needs to actually fire it for that to happen.
Yeah, I think the big thing here for Thoth is some people might ask, like, why does it take so long to nerf a character like this? And he's a character that at all skill levels, not just like SPL, like all skill levels, diamond ranked, right? He was just underperforming. He wasn't really having the impact that we needed to. And that puts him in a weird case where we could nerf him, but now he's really, really underperforming based on statistics. And so we generally don't want to do that. We want to look for other things to do, but he's such a character that SPL level, he was being so highly picked and banned. I think he was above Uller as a character that's often commonly cited. He was so overperforming in that regard in picks and bans that we kind of need to look at this adjustment, and we feel this adjustment really targets that high level impact that he has in the late game, where he has CDR built, he has the finger, he dashes, and now you can try and chase him, but he's holding on to it until he can guarantee the stun. Guarantees the stun, and he's going to be dashing 3 seconds from now.
Exactly.
And it makes him really hard to chase, so we're slowing that down.
All right, that does it for the gods. If you just joined us in the middle of any of that long rant that we had over all the gods, we got a little recap graphic for you here. The big one, Terra change, I think is going to really shake up where she falls in the meta, but also some popular gods getting nerfed. Soul, Nemesis, Thoth, Nuwa, all popular picks and bans at the SPL level, while Cerberus getting that adjustment. Ares getting a fun buff as well.
Yeah, pretty fun stuff. And look, we got through that without Hindu.
Look, we did it, and it was all very nice and kind. But you're not quite done yet here, Pon. We got to go over those fixes that we were talking about. We'll go through these pretty quickly. Naja, we already talked about the ult changes that he got, but now is going to be targetable a little bit earlier, as will the player that he's grabbed.
Yeah, so when he's on the ground dashing back to his location, he was immune. He now can actually be hit. He'll be CC immune, so he can't be stunned during that, but he can actually be hittable. The target who's also landing had this small
they
bounce.
bounced, and during the bounce they were on.
And so you could cause that could cause Naja players like their setup to miss. So now you'll be able to hit that. So it's kind of a nerf buff for Naja.
Yeah, Serket getting a similar sort of treatment. There, she got immunity frames, and the person she was throwing had immunity frames.
Yep.
We're changing that up now. Serket targetable the entire time. Person she's grabbing targetable the entire time.
And again, another buff nerf.
All right, Tyr getting the same sort of thing on his Fearless. There was also a moment where when you were getting pushed by Tyr, you actually couldn't get hit by anything else. Now Tyr is able to set up his team more effectively.
Yeah, and this one's actually probably the biggest one here is the amount of times Tyr's Fearless and I've thrown abilities and missed and been like, well, that kind of, you had great lockdown, but I just totally whiffed everything. Now you can actually follow up on Tyr Fearless, which we expect will help him a lot.
If Hindu was here, he'd say it's because you're bad, but I know you hit those abilities, Pon, and you're going to do great now that this change is here.
Dude, I like this positivity.
Yeah, that's right. Positive vibes. Hercules now, driving strike. Targets hit by this no longer lose their hitbox. Same sort of deal.
Yep, same thing. Less severe than Tyr because it's so quick, but it's still nice love for him.
Yep. Giannis, we've got a little bit of an effects change to the portal. In fact, we've got that in game to show you guys. Before it would like open up, but you wouldn't quite fall through it until it was done. Now this is clear feedback on whenever it pops up, you're falling through it.
Yeah, there was like a small delay where it looks like you wouldn't be able to fall through, and now it's very clear. It also shows you warning as to where that area is going to be, which previously didn't exist. So both for Giannis players to have a very clear understanding when it's going to happen, but also for enemies fighting to know, oh, I have this portal that's about to appear underneath me.
All right, last one up is Dodgy. A little bit of a quality of life here. Just made it a little bit easier to see where you were targeting the chains up on the powwow.
Yep, it was hard to see that targeter, especially when you're up and chaos of the battlefield is going. It's brighter, so you can now see your targeter better.
All right, guys, I know you don't want me to throw you back to Hindu Man because he's the savage guy and he's going to be mean to us, but kind of have to. Don't really have a choice. It's back to Hindu Man on the casual set.
Yeah, don't want to throw it back to Hindu Man. I just want to sit here looking like a mini AJ with me Bologna top on. Well, that was the balance section for you all. Enjoy Terror and Ares in every single one of your games, boys and girls. But for now, it's time to head over to Skins. And we've got a new person on the show. Yes, Tina, there's a new person on the show.
Vagina Power!
This is Hira Stubbs.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. What is it you do in the art department?
Yeah, so I'm a senior tech artist on
You see that
SMITE.
microphone thing? You put it in front of you, and you're
hear me
talking
now?
to that, people can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
welcome to the show.
Hi. So I'm senior technical artist on SMITE, and my department is responsible for the technical implementation of our 3D art assets.
Okay.
Like the skins,
The
and
skulls?
the characters. The what?
The skulls.
The skulls, absolutely. We have a whole part of our department is
That's important.
totally invested in skulls and the skull technology.
Okay.
But
Skull
specific-
technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. Specialized subjects.
Yes.
So obviously, Stubbs is going to be on the show, and Tina, as always. How are you doing, my dear?
Hi, I'm well, thank you.
No problem. You don't have to move it that close, just like, put it there for now. Let's move straight in then to the skins, as we've been going quite long with those patch notes today. We'll start things off with the Magician Loki. It's not called Magician Loki, it's called Dashing Deceiver Loki. But he's technically a magician.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
in
he sure
every
is. Look
aspect
at
of this.
as seen on this card where he is killing everyone.
Yeah, it's magic.
Well, we should be able to take a look in game as well. There he is.
He has that anime shader.
Oh, I didn't realize it was going to be an animation
Yeah.
version. That's cool.
An anime wizard guy, I guess.
Yes.
So what's the hardest thing to do with a skin like this one?
A skin like this one, so if you notice, he has a cape. And specifically for when we do Lokis with capes, he can't put his hands behind his back like he does in base. So we have a whole override set of him keeping his hands away from his cape so he's not, just shoving his hands underneath the cape.
Gotcha. Because you don't want to put him under the cape. You don't know what's going on there then,
Yeah,
do you?
you can't.
You know?
It's not PG.
It's gonna
so we
clip,
don't do that.
right?
It's
Gonna clip.
inappropriate.
Oh yeah, that too.
Absolutely.
So there's the stealth, or the vanish, as it's called.
I love the rose petals.
Man,
He does sound like a dark magician.
he does sound like a dark magician.
I'm only doing that because other departments will get upset by me saying that, but they can't stop me because I'm live.
Actually, if you know who J. Michael Tatum is, he does the voice for this character.
Oh, does he? Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now you can kill people in style.
It
I
doesn't
think he has
sound
an
as bad to get
extremely
hit by the
sexy
ult
voice.
anymore. With the sound effects, it doesn't sound so bad.
I know, right?
Because the old days, it was scary when he'd just jump out at you, but now it's like,
Right? No, it's just like, kill me, daddy, right?
kill me, daddy.
Kill me, daddy.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's going to get sound clipped and put as someone's text message tone, I'm sure. Good job, Tina. Let's have a little quietness for the voice pack.
Woohoo! Absolutely splendid. You are fantastic. Modesty is a virtue, but I am just the best. I will leave a fresh rose at your grave. The hungrier one is, the more satisfying the meal. I plan to beat you all and look good doing it.
And that's the Loki skin. Time to move along swiftly to the Abyssal Executioner Chuck. This one's very void-like, Stubbs.
It's very spooky, very scary, very many mouths.
Very tentacly.
Is it tentacly, though?
Oh.
It's like he's made of tentacles
It's like he's
and
a-
teeth.
Yep.
Oh, that head looks amazing. I didn't see the head in the artwork didn't show it as clear as it does in game.
Yep.
But obviously, he's still got the classic Chuck axe.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, the eye
You watch
moves
the
as
eye.
well.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, the eye will watch you.
That's awesome.
Dude, his pauldrons are a dream. They're massive.
And keeping those pauldrons away from his horns and making sure they didn't fight each other the whole time was very important.
Yeah.
Just the basic attack sound was really good with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, sound came out really good.
Is that all? Lord, let me
Oh, is it? He's a spammer, this one.
Yeah.
He's one of those spammers, I can hear it.
I love those lightning effects.
What?
Well, Big Man Tings has got a new skin to play in the Pro
Yup.
League then when he plays
Yup.
mid again. When this one comes out.
Oh.
Oh, look at that symbol.
And as always, this comes with a voice pack, so we'll take a little listen in.
exquisite. You are a true acolyte. I am invincible. I need more sacrifices. Fresh, innocent, young souls. How many tickles does it take to get? And so many tentacles.
Now,
Kidding, they're all dead or insane.
both these skins are going to be available in the Turn Up Bundle, just for you guys at home to know, the Turn Up Bundle.
It's a part of the
I don't know what
birthday
the Turn
event.
Down Bundle is, but
There will be no turning down.
Turn
There's no
down
turn
for
out.
what?
There's just going up.
oh, you're catching on quick, Stubbs. You're catching on quick. Moving along then to the next skin on my list. I think I just skipped one nearly. Oh, it's going to be Anubis. Jackal Tech Anubis. This skin looks amazing.
It is.
I'm so excited for this skin.
So, do the skins like this one that we're going to see now, Stubbs, does these take even more work to put into? Like, do they take a lot longer to turn these around?
They do. So we put a lot of extra work into skins like this one. You'll notice it's kind of built a little bit off of the Tier 5 Anubis that we did a little while back. So we want to take advantage of that really cool style and then make it a robot, since that's always a really cool thing to do.
Robots are cool.
Yeah.
So his wings are now thrusters? Or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has
dude.
ultimate thrust power.
Oh, yes.
Now, this is unlockable from the birthday event collection rewards, just remember. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, if you buy
There's so
3
many different
bundles.
events and things
If you
now.
buy the 3 bundles, you get this guy.
For free.
Yes.
For free?
Well, I mean, you're
Technically
spending.
free.
Well, yeah,
You buy 3 and you get one free.
yeah.
Look at me, I'm a great salesman. That's
That
what I
first
do.
ability, we have like extra rockets animations that we put into that ability that are all animated by our animation
Dude,
department.
he's shooting from his chest. Do it again. Oh!
Yes, a lot of these abilities have been reworked animation-wise, not
Right.
gameplay-wise, but we just wanted to make it really cool, really pop. The animation department put a lot of extra work into this one, making sure that was really
Oh
different.
my god, he's
That's
got a
the
machine
ulti.
gun!
Yeah. He turns into a turret and just
That looks
shits on
great.
everyone.
That looks really good. Poops.
Poop.
Tina,
Poop.
poops.
Poop. 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 Poop.
Just like that.
That skin is awesome. But it does come with a voice pack as well. We should have a listen into that because we're going to whip through these. As the Pro League is coming up. Oh, good job, Pom. Wow, good
He's
job, Pom.
shy.
Oh no.
Amazing, Pom.
Pompon, it's not working. Pompon, if you can hear me.
Well, time to move along because Pompon's absolutely
Okay, I can
useless.
mimic it. It's like
Oh, go on, do it.
okay, it's Roger, Roger. I will eliminate. Yeah.
Well, we should just have you two do the voice lines for it then, I guess. Just voice over it. Okay, moving
It's
on
much cooler than
swiftly
I can do.
along then. We'll definitely get that released to you all a little bit later on social media to make sure you get those voice lines for it. Next up is Road Rebel Hercules. I believe someone says this one might have a VXG.
It does have a VXG.
Hell yeah. So post-apocalyptic style.
He is. Yeah, and if you look really close on his shoulder, he's got like this lion built out of scrap metal. Super cool. It was
Oh,
like
yeah,
a big
that's
part of our
cool.
design was that lion, but like a metallic one.
Yeah, I mean, the Nemean line's always going to be there.
Yeah, you have to have
Somewhere.
it.
He looks like he's been in the desert for a very long time, so his hair's got really bleached
Yes.
because of it. Yeah.
Yeah, my hair does the same thing.
Yeah, mine too. It's so difficult to maintain the way he looks.
I know.
That club looks amazing too. Nice, painful driving straight. You can hear the metallic sound as well, which
Yeah.
is nice.
On this specific ability, if you watch at the end, there's a car like at the end of that field of rocks, and
yeah.
the car trunk
Oh.
pops open and flings you up in the air.
That's cool. So you're actually just using the car trunk from it to get the
Yeah.
flip. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Obviously, he's going to heal as well with mitigate wounds. OPOP. Nice green glow. And what does he throw? Of course, it's a
Oh, a
chunk.
cluster of cars.
Him and Kabrakan now make a
I
really
know,
good team
right?
together, right?
Oh
With that
yeah.
car skin. Yeah.
The car skins, dude.
That's
right.
the future, car skins.
They are car enthusiasts.
Let's have a little look at that VXG then, Pon. Oh,
Is it?
it's a
Just a
flaming
flaming
torch of
rod?
death. And he's going to be able to run around with that all the time.
It's like an Olympic flame, but on his rod.
It's like a hot rod.
Hey, God help me. This is going to be terrible each week if this is going to
Thanks for inviting me
continue.
on the show, by the way.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Stubbs. I'm glad you turned up. This is, yeah, great. Not just Tina. Yay.
Wow.
Let's have a listen in to the voice pack.
Kadingus.
Yeah! Oh, amazing! You did it, man! I'm a survivor! You couldn't handle the things I've seen. Bring it on! I'm not afraid of anything! Listen, I'm an apocalyptimist. I know everything is poop right now, but I still think we got a chance.
There's that
You
poop
know,
again.
to dinosaurs, this would be the post-apocalyptic future.
Awesome. Moving along then, we've got two more skins to show you. Violet Sorceress Aphrodite.
Yes.
This is one of those skins that's going to be in the Gold Vault. Added to the Gold Vault alongside DJ Ganesha and also Maid Amaterasu. They're going to be in this, and she's definitely elf looking.
Yes, she is 150% an elf.
Are you sure?
A high elf.
150% worth?
Yes. Yes, there's no crossbreeding or anything. She's 100% pure blood elf.
Elves can't do that anyway, right? Like,
That's true. They're a little too snotty.
yeah, they wouldn't be an elf then either.
They would, well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
This is definitely my new go-to Aphrodite skin. I'm so excited for this one.
Oh, it's so luxurious looking.
Yeah.
Oh.
To be fair, I've only just got the Black Aphrodite one. I was excited about that one where I was playing that yesterday. So
Oh, yeah.
I now got to choose between that and this one. That's kind of hard. Let's have a little look at those abilities. Give him a kiss, Pon. No, that's not a kiss, is it? Give him a smooch.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that noise.
Just come here.
Leave me alone! Get away! Back off!
Vangelis and Wildar.
I really like the blue on the abilities of this one.
Pretty.
The neon blue. And the ultimate as well, which is knock up. You can still cast it while knock up, just so you know. Last patch. More OP-ness to...
I can tell you're very angry.
Yeah, I'm happy, especially with one of the sleepiest buffs this patch too. Let's have a listen to the voice pack that goes with this then.
Yes. Excellent. You're worthy after all. I'm master of the arcane. I could just turn you into a toad and squish you. That is not how you treat a sorceress of the highest order. Drink this potion. It will make you smarter and stronger. However, the side effects can be death. I have a powerful incantation for you. Listen close, as it is very difficult to master. Press F6.
I like this skin already. That one definitely. Good job, Tina. You on the
thank you.
voice
Good
pack?
job, Tina.
I tried to make her like super sultry. Like
Yeah.
I wanted her to be this very sultry sorceress
Well, it works out
elfling.
very well. We're going to move along, though, to the last skin because the show is about to come to an end, but it's time to show off the inner demon hell. Stubbs, this skin is amazing.
This skin was also a ton of work for us. So for every department on the SMITE team, everything from rigging and trying to get her proportions to be a bit better, getting those wings in here, as you'll see soon. So animation also had to do a lot of their animation redo because of the change in the character's model and the wings.
And technically with like a hell skin, like it's two skins in one, isn't
Yeah.
it? So you're going to double the work.
Yeah, and then the way we have her presented in lobby is actually behind the scenes secretly very different just because of the constraints that we have in the game.
And she has a tail.
And she's got a tail.
I do like the fact it's really easy to distinguish between the bad and the good in this one as well.
No, really.
That's nice. That's a good version of hell, right?
Right?
See, I'm good at this. I can work these things out.
She's so pretty.
She is. She's very.
We should go through the
she's
abilities
done
and have
very
a
well.
little look at these too, but it looks
That
fantastic.
side boob.
The wings look amazing. And the little crowd as well.
We do a lot of work with when she switches back and forth and trying to cover up that and make that look really pretty. So it's just not like a sudden switch over.
I missed.
Yeah, I love the way it just fades into. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of what my department will do.
I know Wolfie's going to be happy about this skin, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's.
Now, if you guys tuned in for this one, this is part of the Inner Demon Bundle, by the way, the Inner Demon Bundle, which is going to be part of the next adventure. In the Inner Demon Bundle, 900 gems will get you this skin, along with a loading frame, graphical UI thing. I'm going through my notes because I've lost the page. I've just got to find it when I'm reading all this out. But it's going to be...
Yeah, let me
all
know because
those
I need to
things.
know how to get the skin.
Yeah, it's.
It's looking good, I'll tell you
It
that
is
much.
in the adventure bundle.
It's part of the Inner Demon Bubble with Inner
don't
Demon
have-
Hell, Inner Demon Pedestal, Demon Level Up Effects, Demon Jump Stamp, and a Gold Vault Key for
Yes,
that
correct.
maybe Aphrodite skin if you want. But let's have a listen to the voice pack.
Woohoo! Heavenly! I'm the guardian angel.
Let's singe these mortals to dust.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Heaven.
Heaven who?
Haven't you heard enough of these silly knock knock jokes?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Back! Woohoo! Horrific indeed! You please me. I'm such a tear!
What have I missed?
Awesome. That skin is looking
Yeah.
great. As I said, it's part of the 900 gem bundle, but that's all we've got time for this week. We've done all the patch notes. What was your favorite thing, Tina?
My favorite thing is actually the Aphrodite elf. I really have been wanting an Aphrodite skin for a very long time, and elves are just my thing. So
Yeah, shelves are my thing too. I like shelves. What about you, Stubbs?
The Heaven and Hell skin,
Sure.
Inner Demon.
Not being on the show? Like, that wasn't your favorite
Oh
thing?
yeah, this is actually my favorite thing. Hey guys.
No, it's your last time on the show now. You didn't say
Okay,
the nice
bye.
things, right? That's it. You're done. See, Tina, you know I had to stay in check, don't you, huh? This show's great. That's right. And with
oh
that,
god, there might be spit on that. Sorry.
won't be the first time. With that, we're going to call it a day. It's time for the patch notes to end now. PTS will be up on Friday for you all. And then the patch will be released on Tuesday. And I believe, just double checking my final note to make sure of one more thing for you all, that I'm not completely incorrect. So now I can't find it because I'm an idiot. I believe it's going to be available on console on 17th of April is the plan. But now it's time to head over to the SPL, which will be starting momentarily after the show concludes. Thanks for all tuning in. We'll see you all next week. Or the week after.